This reunion was very, very freaking chaotic. So it starts off with a bang. Everybody comes on stage. My fave looks were Kimmy, Stormy, and Melody. Tisha looked like she was about to burst out of that corset. Like, girl, why did you even wear that? But Tisha came in. You saw the previews with her and her husband in the boxing gloves. They were ready to fight. And she came in swinging. So she came in. Of course, messy as Carlo is like, what did you think, Stormy, about their business acumen? Before Stormy could even answer, like before she could even put two sentences together, Tisha is like taking off, like, blah, 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 pay your employees, use your TikTok money. And Stormy's like, girl, when you make as much money as I do, come talk to me. Like, Stormy's business has been successful. Like, Stormy's one of those people that came on the show that had her own shit going. Like, she did not need the show to put her on. And that's just that on period. Like, everybody knew that. But Tisha is like going crazy, like not letting Stormy talk, which is very annoying to me because honestly, I hate when I cannot hear the dialogue because you're talking, Stormy is talking. I can't hear what either of you are saying. But that little segment ends with her kind of accusing Stormy of using pills. And I don't know if it's the editing or whatever happened because it doesn't seem like Stormy disputes it or even her husband disputes it. But even we look at Marcel and Marcel's like, dude, you're going too far. Like, what the hell? But I don't know if they edited it weird and maybe next week we'll see more of it. But Stormy comes back talking about, I gave you grace. You better watch yourself. And Tisha is on mute. So I don't know if the editing is off because Tisha was unready. So I can't see Stormy like sunning her and her not saying nothing because it did not make sense. She said, we're all millionaires here. Like, girl, you cannot sun me, basically. Then of course, Carlos is asking about, oh, Melody, did you really not have any orgasms? Like, then Martel's silly ass is like, oh, she was wet. Okay, being wet and having an orgasm are two different things. As a female, he should probably do some more biology and probably ask the woman versus even doing more biology. Ask the woman, girl, did you get there? Is there something I could do differently? Like, I feel like sex is such an intimate thing between two people or more, like, depending on what your sexual appetite is. But have a conversation like, what am I doing? Am I getting you there? Do you need more of this? Do you need less of that? And it's a conversation, but him saying because she was wet. Like, being wet is just a natural function of a working vagina. Like, if you stimulate my vagina, whether you're raping me or having consensual sex, it's going to get wet, right? That's just what's going to happen, except I'm like premenopausal or menopausal where I'm dry and I'm not producing as much fluids as I should for lubrication. But he's like intimating that her being moist equates an orgasm. And that is such a ridiculous thing. But anyways, Martel is an idiot, so we don't expect too much from him. Then Marcel has a segment with him being a bee. And basically, Stormy's like, I'm going to call him a bee anytime I want. And Tisha had no words for her. And you know Tisha ain't going to call no Big Daddy Courtney any bees. But the women basically lay into him that he's always in women's business. He doesn't really dispute it, but one of the interesting conversations was him talking about how Letitia cannot be a great mom and be an entrepreneur. Like, I was like, huh? Why are you speaking for her? Like, this 2024, like, everybody is doing 10,000 jobs and still being fabulous moms. So for you to say that to her is like, you already know he's controlling, which is unfortunate. And Tisha doesn't even know who she is. She's like, my family said this, so I did that. Marcel said this, so I did that. Like, girl, what do you want out of life? And I'm not saying break up a marriage. Like, that's far from my thought process. Like, some marriages are going to function. One person is going to be a leader and the other one's going to be a follower, which is fine. But at the end of the day, are you happy? That's my question. And I want you to be happy versus the nonsense you're doing, basically. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't think they should break up a marriage. Like, they've been married for too long. I don't think they will function good without each other. But I think conversations and her desires have to be met at some point. I don't know. Because I feel like she's going to end up 20, 30 years and be miserable. I want a divorce at that point, which is going to be unfortunate versus talking about it now. So we talk about the Maurice and Kimmy thing and how basically he wasn't sensitive to her. And Kimmy, I don't know, that whole relationship like irks me. Like, I don't want to talk about it because I'm medical and I deal with people that go through what Kimmy goes through. And it's unfortunate that her husband was so bent on sex. I'm hoping that it was just for the show versus this is how he really feels. Because if this is how he really feels, that is such like insensitivities, to the max. So on that point, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. If Kimmy is happy, whatever. Martel really doesn't have a storyline at this point. Like, I'm not even sure why he's there. But then we get Kiki to the floor, and Kiki and Tisha immediately start getting into it. And Tisha is rolling her eyes, sucking her teeth, because they look alike. They really do look alike. Like, they could be sisters, but they are cousins. So it makes sense that the DNA is DNA. And like, what are you guys really mad about at the end of the day? But Tisha is not here for Kiki, and I don't blame her. Kiki said a whole bunch of crap. Kiki's explanations, I like Kiki, but her explanations can be like long, convoluted, and not really leading to any endpoint. And she kind of gave one of those explanations on why she was involved in the mess. Like, girl, just say, my cousin pissed me off. I'm trying to out her that she's with a cheating man. She called Tisha dumb. I don't know that Tisha is dumb. I think Tisha is pleasantly ignorant. But Tisha tells us that basically Kiki and her husband be doing wife swap, like, and Kiki pays for some of those dates. I'm like, wait, what? That big man that could not even, girl, bye. I'll be damned if I'm paying for some sex for my husband. Like, he better go find it himself. Like, you ain't gonna get me out here paying for some. Psh. People are crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is too much.